And I am reminded on this holy day of the sad story of Kitty Genovese. As you all may remember, a long time ago, almost 30 years ago, this poor soul cried out for help time and time again, but no person answered her calls. Though many saw, no one so much as called the police. They all just watched as Kitty was being stabbed to death in broad daylight. They watched as her assailant walked away. Now, we must all fear evil men. But there is another kind of evil which we must fear most, and that is the indifference of good men.
Hey! Please, someone help me! You're not like that! Please, someone help me! You're not like that! Please!
Still no response.
Go away. You hear me? Don't you ever go.
The indifference of good men.
You think that someone else will take the blame, someone else will take the responsibility?
In 1964, Kitty Genovese was brutally stabbed to death in Queens, New York. The attack lasted over 30 minutes. Her assailant twice left the scene and returned to continue the assault. 38 witnesses watched from their apartment windows, neither coming to her aid nor calling the police as she cried for help.
Police say he was a good Samaritan. 31-year-old Hugo tailed Yaks, stabbed as he tried to protect a woman from a mugger. This surveillance tape shows him bleeding to death on the sidewalk as 25 people passed him by. In that hour and 20 minutes, one man takes a cell phone picture, another actually lifts his body, sees the blood, and walks away. By the time paramedics got there, it was too late.
Peter's now having the same problem. This time, we've swapped his suit for casual clothes. He's not drunk, and we've asked him to act like he's in pain.
Help! Help! Help me! Please, somebody! Help me! Help me, somebody! Please help me! Help me! Help me! Help me! Please, somebody help me! Please, somebody help me!
Surveillance cameras at a city-run psychiatric hospital emergency room in Brooklyn capture a woman falling from a chair, writhing on the floor, and dying. Hospital staff and other patients watch and do nothing for more than an hour. One guard doesn't even leave his chair, rolling it around the corner to stare at the body. The New York Civil Liberties Union sued the facility, Kings County Hospital Center, last year over the way it treats psychiatric patients.
It's a chamber of filth, decay, indifference, and danger, and seeks an end to the culture of abuse and neglect.
The city's medical examiner has yet to determine why the woman, 49-year-old Esmond Green, died on June 20th. She had been waiting in the emergency room for nearly 24 hours.
The reason why this woman died the way she did is because there is a culture of indifference.
The indifference of good men.
I got onto the tube and sat opposite a guy who threatened me. He'd obviously been sleeping rough and had problems, but he was quite verbally abusive.
Yeah, I was with a group of mates one day. We've seen two fellas arguing. We've literally turned the corner, discussed a few things, came back, and that was it, they were fighting.
I'd got up to walk away from him, he'd followed me, and he sat beside me for 6 or 7 stops, actually threatened to stab me.
We've had a little discussion between each other if we should stop it or not. We decided not to, so we was on our way.
And I was looking at the other passengers and looking at the guard on the carriage, hoping that somebody would help me.
We should have really done something, because at the end of the day, how'd we like it if it was us?
Nobody did anything on the tube. People just ignored me completely. When the guy eventually got off, then people came up and asked if I was okay, but during the journey they'd done nothing.
And that's when the guilt tripped in. We really did realise that it was wrong what we did. How'd you do it? How'd you feel when someone's beating 10 times out of someone? I mean, it could have been me, you, anyone, but deep down we bottled it.
I had stopped, before I got on the 28th, I had stopped at Walgreens and I bought my last meal. Starburst and Skittles. And went at the bridge. Found a place that I thought, alright, it's not too close to the pillar, I won't hit the pillar. I'll just hit the water, I'll either drown or I'll die on impact. Or I'll have a heart attack. So I got there, stood there for like 40 minutes at that spot. Just crying my eyes out. Joggers, bikers, runners, tourists, whatever, running by, walking by, looking at me, didn't say anything. That's not their part, it's not their problem, but anyway. And this woman, she came up to me, she said, in a German accent, I think it was a German accent, she said, "Will you take my picture?" I was like, your picture? Woman, I'm gonna kill myself. What is wrong with you? You can't see the tears pouring out my face, but she couldn't. She was on her own hype. So I took the camera, took her picture, said, "Miss, have a nice day." Turned back to the traffic, turned to the bay, said, "Fuck it, nobody cares." Pardon my French. And I hurled over the bridge.
This woman, for instance, has clearly spotted Ruth, but she conforms to the rule and does nothing.
You all right? You all right?
Watch what happens, though, when someone else helps.
You all right? You sure?
She suddenly finds herself in a different group with a new rule: to help.
She don't look well, does she? You all right? Yeah. What's wrong?
First I thought she was dead. Then I sort of checked to see if she was breathing or not. And I looked around and I couldn't believe that no one had noticed her, because there was a bloke sat there just absorbed in reading a newspaper.
And that is the indifference of good men.
I do believe the Messenians finally got the point.
Aye?